You know a game is about to explode. When the final score isn't the first thing people are talking about. Before the Indiana Fever completed one of their most impressive wins of the season, one moment had already set the internet on fire. Caitlin Clark was knocked to the hardwood after a hard screen, immediately looked toward the officials for a whistle that never came. And seconds later, she was the one being hit with a technical foul. Just like that, the entire mood of the game changed. Fans inside the arena couldn't believe it. Social media erupted before the first quarter was even over. But what happened next is the part almost nobody saw coming. Because instead of letting the frustration tear them apart, the Fever responded with the kind of performance that sent a message to the rest of the league. From the opening tip, New York looked determined to make life difficult for Indiana's biggest star. Every possession seemed more physical than the last, with defenders crowding Clark before she even crossed half court. The Liberty have built their reputation on toughness and championship experience, and they weren't interested in giving the Fever any easy looks. Then came the play everyone would spend the rest of the night debating. As Clark tried to fight through an off-ball screen, she collided with Jonquel Jones and crashed to the floor. The officials let play continue, while television analysts described it as a legal screen. But almost instantly, another conversation took over online. Slow-motion replays spread across social media, with thousands of fans arguing over whether Jones remained stationary or moved into Clark at the last second. Some believed it was perfectly legal. Others insisted the contact should have resulted in a foul. Regardless of which side people landed on, one thing was impossible to ignore. Clark stayed down for a moment before getting back to her feet, visibly frustrated. That frustration boiled over almost immediately. After exchanging words with an official, Clark was assessed a technical foul. Instead of Indiana shooting free throws, New York gained another opportunity to extend its lead. Inside the arena, confusion spread through the crowd. On television, the replay continued to loop. Online, debates multiplied by the minute. And suddenly, what started as one physical possession became the biggest storyline of the night. The technical carried extra weight, because it wasn't just another mark in the box score. It pushed Clark closer to the league's threshold for an automatic suspension, making every emotional reaction from this point forward even more significant. That's exactly why Fever head coach Stephanie White chose her words carefully after the game. Rather than launching into a public criticism of the officiating crew, she acknowledged that managing technical fouls throughout a long season matters, especially when every additional one could eventually cost a player valuable games. But the feeling around the Liberty still walked into halftime believing they had control of the game. They had survived the early controversy, built a lead, and forced Indiana to spend most of the first half playing catch-up. But inside the Fever locker room, there was no panic. There was no frustration about the officiating. There was only one message: keep playing their style of basketball. That decision would completely flip the game on its head. The third quarter opened with an energy that looked nothing like the first 20 minutes. Indiana came out attacking every loose ball, crashing the glass, and matching New York's physicality possession after possession. Suddenly, the Liberty weren't dictating the pace anymore. Every pass felt rushed, every drive became contested, and every rebound turned into a battle. Then came the substitution that quietly changed everything. Myisha Hines-Allen checked into the game, and her impact was immediate. She wasn't trying to score 30 points or dominate the headlines. Instead, she brought something Indiana desperately needed: strength, toughness, and relentless effort. Every time New York tried to establish position in the paint, Hines-Allen was there delivering contact of her own. Every rebound became a fight. Every possession became uncomfortable for the Liberty. The shift was impossible to ignore. While New York had spent the first half bullying Indiana physically, the Fever suddenly became the aggressors. The Liberty no longer looked like the team setting the tone. Instead, they found themselves reacting to Indiana's intensity. And that's when the momentum completely swung. Lexie Hull began doing the kind of work that rarely makes highlight reels but wins basketball games. She jumped passing lanes, pressured ball handlers, and forced mistakes that immediately turned into transition opportunities. One steal became a layup. Another deflection led to an open three. Possession after possession. New York's offense started falling apart under constant pressure. At the same time, Sophie Cunningham continued delivering winning plays on both ends of the floor. It wasn't just the outside shooting anymore. She challenged shots around the rim, battled for loose rebounds, and refused to let the Liberty gain any second chances. Every hustle play seemed to energize the entire roster. The crowd could feel it. What had started as nervous anticipation during the first half quickly turned into genuine belief. Every defensive stop brought the arena to its feet. Every made basket felt bigger than the last. The Liberty, who had looked completely comfortable earlier in the night, suddenly appeared shaken. And right in the middle of it all was Caitlin Clark. Even on a night when her shot wasn't falling consistently, Clark controlled the tempo like a veteran. Instead of forcing difficult attempts against multiple defenders, she trusted her teammates. Every time New York collapsed on her, she found the open player. Every extra defender